up, now you in trouble. My on hustle, my diamonds are huddled up. TGOD got this off the muscle. Ask me about my life, man, I love it, I love it. Got so many rings, I need room for another one. Been through the pain.
It's week 6 of the National Football League. We've got J.K. Dobbins. He had a nice effort a week ago with a pair of touchdowns. It's the Ravens and the Giants, and it's coming up next.
We're situated about 8 miles west of New York City at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Straight ahead, it's a matchup of unbeatens between the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Giants. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should. And what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Two teams have met in Super Bowl 35 down in Tampa. The Ravens and Giants are underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Giants, led out by their former 6th overall pick out of Duke back in 2019. Daniel Jones under center.
New York State committed to Daniel Jones for a 4th season, but also made this a decisive year by declining his 5th-year option. 2022 looks like Jones' final chance to prove he can be the franchise face for the Giants, and he does have a cadre of weapons that he'll need to top his career highs of 3,000 yards and 24 touchdowns that he set as a rookie.
Jones looking to throw it on the first play. On the move, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. David Ojabo in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man. After the sack on first down, Jones, open target here, Darius Slayton. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before it's taken down. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So this game of our, Charles, the talk of the NFL world all week. 2 unbeaten teams. You rarely see such a matchup this deep into a season.
I would agree with that because normally you might get one team undefeated for a while, but 2 teams like this, and I remember in preseason, you looked at schedules and said, I think these 2 are on a collision course. It'd be interesting to see if they actually get there, and they did. And to me, the winner of this game has to wear the crown of Super Bowl favorite.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And the top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of action.
And he'll go down, brought down at the 20-yard line. David Ojabo. They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively. And not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp.
Touchdown, Giants! Sterling Shepard, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Gano the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. Time to see this wide-open Baltimore offense go to work, and leading them pretty darn good with Lamar Jackson out of Louisville.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 13. A man who missed all of 2021, this is J.K. Dobbins. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. Well, Lamar Jackson, for all the talents of escaping pressure that he possesses, he was helpless to do much of anything there. He had no chance.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Giants touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Gano now to add the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And the football back over to Baltimore and J.K. Dobbins. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
On 2nd down, Jackson. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Here's Jackson. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Well, we had a pair of division rivalries in primetime last weekend, week 5, and we've got another pair of good ones coming up here in week 6. Starting tonight, Cowboys and Eagles from Philly on Sunday night, and then tomorrow, Monday Night Football has the Broncos and Chargers from SoFi. That's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt. Kickoff 5:15 local time for that one out in Southern California.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Roquan Smith. And the Ravens are going to get the football back at their own 17.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And this ball game, clearly the game of the year so far. It's not very often that you find 2 unbeaten teams playing each other this late in the season, but that's what we have here, 2 heavyweights in the NFL.
You're right about that, and you think about recent memories, so let's take a little ginkgo right now and go down memory lane, right? 2007, 7-0 Colts, 8-0 Patriots. The Pats won 24-20. They ended up going 16-0 in the regular season before they lost in the Super Bowl against the Giants. How about 2015? 6-0 Broncos, 6-0 Packers. Denver won 29-10. And in 2020, Steelers and Titans were both 5-0. Pittsburgh won that one.
He'll grab 3 yards on the play, taking it himself for the 1st down.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Up from his safety spot to charge in and make the play, Landon Collins. On 2nd and 12, Jackson.
That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman.
And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't get in.
I'll tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. 35 yards that time on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And New York set to take the field.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now this throw caught left side. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. It'll go as a gain of 33, and that play started back at their own 33. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Throwing, Jones. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Now Jones.
Oh, trying to fit it into Shepard, but it's intercepted.
Picked off by Patrick Queen.
So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jackson. They'll find Dobbins out of the backfield. And he is going to lose yardage here. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get our tour started out at venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where it was our visitors who were able to walk away with the road victory. Taylor Heineke leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From Chicago, we head north to the home of their rivals as we check on the Packers at home in Lambeau. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. 3 touchdown passes there for Zach Wilson. Finally, we're off to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting 49ers. The Falcons trying to hold on and claim victory. Next, they look at the next-gen stats for the Ravens in that first half, and this tells the story right here. As a unit, negative yards passing through 2 quarters of play. That is something you almost never see. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there. Both teams making their final adjustments for the second half to come. And to bring the action your way, we go back to MetLife Stadium and Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
The Raven offense set to start this third quarter. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now, they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback in this half.
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. The sack by Justin Ellis. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Here's Jackson. Dancing to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on here to punt it away. Here's Jackson to return. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. So now the Giants set to take over on offense. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat of this ball game as well. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 43. They'll start on the ground with Breida.
And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
Now we've got a Giant player here slow to get up after that last play. We'll get an update to MetLife Stadium. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Jones. Now he'll turn and throw deep back to the other side of the field. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Jones. And that's complete to Shepard. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And that goes as a gain of 37 on 3rd down.
And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, and this defense has had its share of problems getting guys to the ground. And here's another example. They never should have allowed this play to gain as many yards as it did, but poor tackling early in the play led to big yardage after the fact.
That's complete to Slayton. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
2nd and 2, first down marker at the 8.
Back to throw again. The quick slant caught. Touchdown. Darius Slayton from 10 yards out. And the Giants take a 3-touchdown lead.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the second half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their approach.
Gano for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
An option handoff here to Dobbins. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
On the return, Jackson. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Giants will begin this drive in good shape, 1st and 10. The New York's field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They go again with Brightwell. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning.
And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown.
Gary Brightwell,
his first touchdown on the year.
And the Giants add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Well, it has been the passing game that's really been responsible for much of the scoring so far. But let's not forget about this running attack. They're pretty good, too, as evidenced right there.
And I think, Brandon, the fact that they've thrown the ball so well contributed to that touchdown, because that was a defense that was really keyed up to cover those receivers. All they wanted to do was blanket them. They didn't have enough men in the box to stop the run, and you saw the end result.
Extra point try good by Gano. And that makes the score 28-0. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
Taking it about the 1.
Now to return it, here's Kenyon Drake.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
And that 5-game win streak is ticking away here in the fourth quarter. Just haven't been as sharp in this one.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson.
They set up the screen for Dobbins.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. To throw again on second down. Jackson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery on a Giants touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. And you're talking about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
Gano now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown.
Fields it right around the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 16. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. To throw is Jackson.
A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10 once again from the 28. Jackson trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted.
And the Giants are going to take possession of the football.
CD, this defense, I mean, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Jones. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right.
And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball, and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Gano for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
Taking it about the 1.
On the return comes Drake.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Ravens offense getting set and ready for this next drive. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Jackson looking to throw on third. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Following the play here, now we've got an injury.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. With it is Jackson.
So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. 80 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Brightwell.
It's a room to maneuver. 20, 10, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Gano now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
Fields it right around the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Throwing is Jackson.
Targeting Dobbins again, and he's got it again.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Now Jackson on 1st down. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was that they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Giants, they remain as hot as anyone at 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they taste defeat for the first time this season as they drop to 5-1. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, my day ones here to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share